Patrick CC has a video called Artists Who Destroyed Their Careers in Seconds.
Were never the same after one incident, whether it was from their own terrible decisions or a minor misstep that got blown out of proportion. Today,
oh yeah, Ashley Simpson when she lip synced. You guys remember that? Oh, spicy. That was spicy.
We're going to discuss them all, starting with Macklemore, who leaked a text message that made everyone question what they thought they knew about him.
Wait, what?
2012 and 2013, you could not go anywhere without hearing the song Thrift
Is this what ruined him? I didn't know that.
Shop. Far from your typical rap song, Macklemore flexed $20 and had suburban moms dancing to his funky saxophone. This song spent 6 weeks at number...
Dude, the trauma when you hear what? Most overplayed song in the entire world. Listen, I'll give it to him. What a great career you had off that album, but holy moly, stop. I hate the radio.
Number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Mac had one hit wonder written all over him. He carried the most stereotypical white rapper image that is perceived as corny by hip-hop culture, but he proved everyone wrong with his second hit, Can't Hold Us, which spent 5 weeks at the number 1 spot. This track was definitely more of a standard pop track, but 2 Billboard number 1s in his first year as a mainstream artist stamped that he was a force to be reckoned with. However, it was all about to come crashing.
He also got every white boy in 2016 to have this haircut.
Down, as Macklemore would suffer from success. At the 2014 annual Grammy Awards, Macklemore was nominated in 7 categories, the biggest and most prestigious being Best Rap Album and Best Rap Song.
Way.
After winning Best Rap Performance and Best New Artist, people were happy to see
That's actually a cool suit.
Him win 2 Grammys. Nominated for Best Rap Song up against Drake, Kanye West, Jay-Z, it seemed unlikely Macklemore.
Oh, no Eminem.
But Thrift Shop was in fact the winner of Best Rap Song of 2014,
were people pissed?
securing him his 3rd Grammy of the night. But what would come next would shock the world.
Why? Gasp, what happens?
Against Drake's Nothing Was the Same, Jay-Z's Magna Carta, Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City.
Oh, he didn't win Best Album, did he?
He did. Oh my God, because this was the best album. This is still like one of the best albums ever.
That's crazy. Good Kid, Mad City is amazing.
And Kanye West Yeezus. Macklemore had absolutely no chance of winning. Everyone was betting on Kendrick.
Oh, that's weird.
Since he without a doubt had the best album of the bunch, but wouldn't be entirely surprised if it went to the other nominees. The hip-hop community was floored when Macklemore and Ryan Lewis's The Heist won Best Rap Album of the Year. The Heist couldn't be a more fitting name for this absolute robbery.
That's crazy.
Macklemore was being cooked by the hip-hop community online, reminding him in every comment section that he didn't deserve to win. He felt...
Ugh, I hate when people react that way though. Like, just move on. I mean, I guess it's not fair to be mad at the artist, be mad at the Academy. I think that's the problem. Be mad at the people who choose it. It's not his fault.
So much pressure that he decided to text Kendrick Lamar and apologize. You got robbed. I wanted you to win. You should have. It's weird and sucks that I robbed you. I was gonna say that during the speech, then the music started playing during my speech and I froze. Anyway, you know what it is. Congrats on this year and your music. Appreciate you as an artist and as a friend. Much love.
He's got so many texts.
Wouldn't have ever seen this text if Macklemore didn't post it to social media.
Oh, that's so weird. Why would you do that? Oh no, my text to Kendrick after the show, he deserved Best Rap Album. I'm honored and completely motivated with anything, much less 4 Grammys, but in that category, he should have won in my opinion.
Which made it even worse and looked like he was just trying to get in the good graces with the public.
Like if you wanted to say like, hey, I wanted to say this in my acceptance speech, but I froze up, do that.
Did you ever feel any way about him posting the text message or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it was uncalled for, to be 100 with you. When he sent it to me, I was like, okay, you know, I could see him feeling that type of way because he a good dude. But I think for confirmation from the world, you know, he probably felt like he had to put it out there.
Yeah, I understand why he felt that way.
Which he didn't need to do. He didn't need to do, but they don't take nothing away from him anyway because I know where his heart is at, he cool.
Despite Kendrick being cordial and saying that Macklemore meant well, hip-hop fans could never truly accept Macklemore as a part of the culture. They thought he was disingenuous, and they didn't really like his music in the first place, so this was an easy excuse to forget about him. He stepped out of the limelight, and many people suggest his music was never as ambitious ever.
He still has music.
Ever again. He felt guilt, and that guilt ate him alive. His 2016 album, This Unruly Mess I Made, sold just 61,000 copies in the first week.
Whoa, 61,000 copies in the first week? Ludwig, sells more sweaters than that. That's crazy.
Him and Ryan Lewis split up shortly after, and Mac released another solo album, Gemini, that did decent amongst his fan base, but ultimately, he hasn't had any major mainstream success in almost a decade. But unlike Macklemore, DaBaby refused.
No, I don't know what you guys are talking about. That Downtown song, so good. Really?
Baby exploded onto the mainstream rap scene in 2019 with his hit song Suge, which peaked at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100.
I don't
In a
know
world
this
of
song.
repetitive melodic trap, DaBaby felt fresh and exciting, providing us with bouncy and
Why is that a dance move people do where they just, I don't get it.
fun bangers. He dominated for the next 2 years, constantly having multiple singles on the Billboard Hot 100, and he was in regular rotation on the radio. His track Rockstar with Roddy Ricch was the
It's my
number 1
go-to
song
move.
for 7
I should
weeks
do that more
straight,
often.
a very tough thing to do as a hip-hop artist. But DaBaby was always known for having a bold personality. He was the type to say whatever he wanted, and if you had a
shouldn't do
problem,
that.
he was more than willing.
Shouldn't do that, chat. I've learned. Shut the fuck up.
He even killed a guy in Walmart. Don't worry,
What?
it was self-defense. Well,
Okay, I've never done that.
in July of 2021, on the stage at Rolling Loud, his loose lips got him in major trouble. Maybe some that he can't recover from.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone light in the air. Lady, if your pussy smell like water, put a cell phone light in the air.
Wait, what did he first say? He said if you have HIV, AIDS, or an STD and you're going to die in 3 weeks, put your light in the air. If you don't have. He said if you don't have? Wait, I don't understand the sentence anyway.
Fellas, lights up. Fellas, if you ain't sucking nigga in the parking lot, put your cell phone lights in the air.
Complete
If you're not sucking dick, put your lights. Oh, so those of us who sucked dick, we can't put our lights in the air? That's
Completely unprovoked and for no reason at all, DaBaby was thinking about gay men and what they do in their free time while he
Hey, I'm going to say, if he was thinking about it,
was on stage performing.
you mostly don't think about things you don't think about unless you're thinking about them. You know what I mean?
He referred to people with AIDS as dirty and will likely die soon from the illness. Both
Jeez.
statements are categorically and factually untrue. The clip was shared onto the internet and sent millions of people into an uproar. DaBaby addressed this on his Instagram and clarified his message.
How could you possibly mean anything else?
I wasn't going on no rant. That's called a call to action. That's what that's called, because I'm a live performer. I'm the best live performer. I'm the live show killer. You interact with your fans. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, why didn't you just say everyone wearing blue? Turn your flashlight on. Why did you have to? My pussy doesn't smell like water, and I wanted to put my flashlight up, but I couldn't because it doesn't smell like that.
All the lights went up gay straight. You want to know why? Because even my gay fans don't got fucking AIDS, stupid ass.
What about the weird smelling pussies? What about them?
Him doubling down on his comments made everything way worse, as he clearly was very uneducated on the AIDS disease and the unfair stigmas that
Lulu, thank you for the sub.
come with it. And although he eventually issued an apology addressing the LGBTQ community, he had made countless contradictory statements after.
Yeah, that's weird. You just need. That's just so weird.
He tried to profit off the controversy in music videos and even kind of redacted his own apology.
If I say what I say to get people to raise their cell phones and it's misinterpreted by people who watch a 5-second clip at home, you're not supposed to understand what's going on. You couldn't raise your cell phone if you wanted to, so you ain't.
I don't think there was any context missing unless someone with AIDS met him before the concert and was like, hey, will you make sure I don't feel pressured to turn my flashlight on, please? I was just sucking dick in the parking lot and I'm tired. So if you could please make sure to not put any pressure on me. And my friend that's with me, her vagina doesn't smell like water. So if you could just like really take care of us, that's the only context we could possibly be missing.
And shorten with a narrative to go along with it. With enough
Anonymous,
people
thank you for
dropping it,
giving
it's
us
gonna
up.
do what it do.
From here, he got kicked off every major festival in 2021 that he was supposed to perform at. And even when he did perform, he was booed and
Good. I think what was the handshake that changed the world when Princess Diana like went to a hospital in New York and shook hands with AIDS patients and everyone was like gasping because it's just like, oh, who knew that? Like crazy that in 2020 anyone could even be thinking that. I think sometimes it's just disappointing whenever you hear stuff like that.
A-list celebrities and fellow collaborators condemned him, but the controversy continued. He got into fights, tormented and broke down the mother of his child on Instagram, tried to kiss
That's
one of his
crazy.
fans without consent. DaBaby was not
That's crazy.
not trying to save face. He just kept saying,
Where is
I'm
he
sorry
now?
for being me. His ticket sales plummeted.
Oh, that sounds familiar. I'm the
which
problem.
resorted
It's
to him
me.
offering buy one get one free deals to fill out the venues. One report alleged that he only sold 500 tickets to a venue that holds 14,000 people, and he claims to have lost $30 million because of the controversy.
Like what were the
a
L's?
week or two after.
Man, I hate when people are like, oh, it's because of this controversy, not that it's because of me. Oh, the problem is because of this. No, the problem is because of you.
$30 million, $30 million that I would have had before the ball dropped 2021. So this happened rolling out with July. I had $30 million worth of shows on the schedule before December 31st.
All he had to say was, put your hands in the air if you just don't care, and all of this could have been avoided. But if
If only someone had said that before.
you think what DaBaby said was bad, you'll be horrified by what CeeLo Green said in a series of
Really? I've never heard about this ever.
questionable tweets. If you don't remember the name CeeLo Green or his previous duo Gnarls Barkley, you definitely remember his two most iconic songs, Crazy and Forget You. Crazy peaked at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 29 weeks on the chart. Forget You, which he released solo 4 years later, also went number 2 on the Hot 100 after spending almost a full year on the charts. CeeLo had a very unique voice and was undeniably talented. He pretty much only
And he has perfect teeth. Holy moly.
gave us 2 hits, but was an ever-present pop culture figure throughout the early 2010s. Whether he was hosting an award show, his own reality show, voice acting, or being a judge on The Voice, CeeLo was loved and appreciated, until some shocking allegations arose. CeeLo was accused by a 33-year-old woman he dined with at a downtown Los Angeles sushi restaurant of placing ecstasy, also known as MDMA or Molly, in her drink. The woman
Guys, it is so easy to not drug people. It's like so easy to not do that.
later told Los Angeles police detectives she woke up naked in bed in her hotel room with Green. CeeLo allegedly admitted to law enforcement that he took ecstasy, but denied drugging the woman's drink or committing sexual assault. CeeLo's sexual assault charges were dropped after prosecutors concluded there wasn't enough evidence to take that accusation to court, but he was found guilty on drug charges, which landed him 3 years probation. But it wasn't the nature of the charges that ruined his career. It's what he said on Twitter after the case. After being criticized by people in public tweets, he decided to respond. Women who have really been R-worded, remember, but
holy moly.
Point taken. So if I tried but did not succeed, but the person said I did, then what really happened? When someone breaks in a home, there is broken glass. Where is your plausible proof anyone was R-worded? If someone passed out, they're not even with you consciously. So with implies consent. It's
Bro, what? That's actually insane.
hard to see what point he was trying to make here, but the blogs were not holding back. CeeLo, it's not rape if you forget. CeeLo Green, it isn't rape if the victim is unconscious. After these tweets, his reputation was destroyed. He lost all of his live performance bookings. He quit.
How does he not have a PR team? I think that's the biggest thing that's changed over the past like 10 years is no celebrities actually tweeting from their account anymore.
Being fired, his TV show was canceled, and he basically disappeared from the pop culture zeitgeist, pretty much surviving off royalties and small film roles here and there. But I guess him and I are friends now?
Yo, Pat, what's up, man? I'm assuming that your friends call you Pat.
My friends do call me Pat, so...
And I consider myself to be one of your friends.
The next person on our
That's crazy.
list lost her career from something that was totally out of her control. In fact, it may have even been a setup. Janet Jackson is a woman who needs no introduction. She is the youngest of the 9 iconic Jackson family siblings. Although she was not a part of the original Jackson 5, she would go on to have a massive solo music career. Jackson signed the first of 2 record-breaking multi-million-dollar
Holy shit, can you add some commentary? No.
contracts with Virgin Records.
I feel like I have.
Establishing her as one of the highest paid artists in the industry. She was named by Billboard magazine in the 90s as the second most successful recording artist of the decade in the United States after Mariah Carey.
True?
Over 100 million records sold, 10 Billboard number 1 songs,
I didn't know that.
27 top 10 hits. She is easily the most successful artist on this list, which is why her downfall is even more tragic. The Super Bowl in America is always the most watched.
This is still like a big debate, isn't it? Hasn't the costume designer of this come out and say that it was set up that way? So we're saying it was set up, but she didn't know about it? It was an accident? No way it's an accident.
televised program every year, with an average of around 100 million people.
There's no world that's an accident. You don't go to grab someone's top and then it like, oopsie.
Watching the game. The halftime show has historically been a major milestone in an artist's career, as it is the biggest stage they will likely ever be on. In 2004, Janet Jackson was asked to do the show, but not by herself, which was surprising since she easily had enough hits to do a full set. Instead, she only got to perform 2 of her songs. The other time was filled out by Justin Timberlake, Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and Jessica Simpson. The very last song of the performance was Justin's hit song, Rock Your Body, in which Janet assisted him. The two met at the center of the stage to pose for the grand finale. Justin reaches across Janet's body and pulls off the chest piece of her costume, exposing her breast to 90 million people. The wardrobe
that wouldn't just happen.
Malfunction is considered the biggest controversy in televised history. This incident was actually the inspiration for YouTube because of the difficulty finding footage to rewatch online. Now, to some degree, this was planned. Justin's intention was to pull the leather piece off her chest and expose the red underneath, but he ripped
Really? That still doesn't make sense, because how would the red just tear away?
Too much. In the split second the camera was on Janet, you can see her look down in shock. She tried to cover herself while Timberlake's
No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Look at his hand.
And the camera was on Janet, you can see her look down in shock. She tried to
This was 1,000% planned. I feel like this is 1,000% planned. Chat, if she's wearing a red bra, it doesn't just rip like that. It doesn't like, you can't just rip off a boob. That's not how it works. Like, it doesn't, you can't just rip off a singular boob. It had to have been made like that.
While Timberlake stood holding the ripped pieces of her costume and bra. The FCC received more than 500,000 complaints after the performance. CBS was fined $550,000, and the halftime sponsor AOL demanded a return of the $10 million advertising cost they paid to the NFL.
I believe it was premeditated, but I don't know how premeditated it was.
Justin apologized. MTV apologized.
Maybe Janet didn't want to break character while performing. That would be just so impressive, I will say.
Janet apologized, even though she later regretted it because it was an accident. The media went into an...
That's interesting.
The FCC investigated the halftime show to see if this was a planned media stunt meant to shock the world, citing that because she was wearing a nipple covering, that was evidence.
Oh, this is what I said. Let's see.
This was all set up. Class action lawsuits were filed against Janet by random citizens, claiming that her sexually explicit performance deserved maximum punitive damages.
That's so aggro.
Every talk show host in the nation dragged her. Viacom had to pay out $3.5 million to settle various indecency complaints, so they went and banned all radio and TV stations that they owned from playing any of Janet Jackson's music. Janet was blackballed from the music industry over an accident, and Justin...
That's crazy. I didn't realize that was
not punished at all.
He should... If they were mad at both of them, they both should be punished.
Even though it was definitely his fault. There is no doubt her punishment was unfair.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And likely due to her gender and race. Her career after that wasn't totally dismantled. She did have a #1 album, a Grammy nomination.
Nipple covers are standard for revealing performances, though, just in case. No. Pasties, I can't show you anything. But essentially, imagine that we'll make it yellow so it doesn't look weird. What she was wearing was a silver contraption. It was a giant sun that went all the way around her boob, like that. I like to make it very clear that I don't even think that this should count as a nip slip. I feel like that's what they were banking on too. If I'm being honest, I think it's messed up that it does count. Way more areola was shown than your paint drawing. Are you telling me this is not accurate?
But this incident lingered like a dark cloud over her head for many years, and slowly she faded out of the mainstream.
I am one of those women who have been gagged, both literally and emotionally, women who have been abused, women who have been intimidated, women who have...
Yeah, I actually would love to know the backstory of this. No matter how it happened, I feel like there was probably some coercing.
Have lived in fear. I stand with you. You are my sisters.
However, today, most people can all agree that this was just an overreaction, and she...
Yeah, 1,000%.
is still highly regarded as one of the most iconic pop stars of all time. Overreacting to small mistakes seemed to be common in the early 2000s, because this next artist's career was destroyed by something so small, it's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Ashley Simpson was the younger sister of the already famous pop star Jessica Simpson, who was a multi-platinum Billboard charting recording artist. She also had her own MTV show. Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica was one of the most popular programs on the network. MTV wanted to capitalize on the Simpson sisters' newfound fame and gave Ashley her own series called The Ashley Simpson Show. The series ran for 2 seasons and aired every week.
Oh, she was dating Ryan Cabrera or whatever.
On MTV directly after Jessica's show. Viewers who were invested in Jess were introduced to Ashley immediately after. Ashley was desperate to not live in the shadows of her sister. She dyed her naturally blonde hair brown and built a
That was smart of her.
pop punk image to complement her pop rock music. Her album's lead single, Pieces of Me, became an instant hit in the United States. The song peaked at number 5 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and sold over 500,000 copies nationwide. Ashley's debut album was released soon after.
It's weird because songs like don't sell anymore, like individually, do they?
With an estimated 398,000 copies sold in its first week. Worldwide, the album sold more than 5 million copies. She had a bigger debut than her sister, but her career ended just before it took off. Saturday Night Live
I read Jessica Simpson's book. It's actually fascinating.
to perform her single Pieces of Me when this happened.
On a Monday, I'm waiting.
You might be kind of confused as to what happened. Basically, the backing vocals started playing before Ashley expected them, as it was her intention to lip sync her performance, but instead of trying to catch up to the song,
I learned that most people lip sync live performances because of like the issues we had at the Streamer Awards, that it's like nearly impossible to mix it correctly from live to whatever. That should have been fine.
she stood there in a panic, then hit this extremely awkward jig dance twice, before ultimately exiting the stage without saying anything.
That's weird. I would just start over and sing it a cappella. I'd be like, oh, wrong track, and then just start over and then just sing it a cappella.
The show cut to commercial, and when it came back, she blamed her band.
Ladies and gentlemen!
She blamed her band? Why would she do this?
What can I say? Live TV.
Exactly. I feel so bad my band started playing the wrong song, and I didn't know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown.
Your band didn't play your voice. Oh, why would you do that? She should have just come back and lip synced it, you know?
I'm sorry.
If she just told the truth right away, she may have been able to
Yeah, she'd be like, sorry.
avoid the backlash. But instead, Ashley became a laughing stock.
On a Monday.
Television used to be the biggest bully.
Even news anchors poked fun at her.
Sister's performance on Saturday Night Live was, well, out of sync, you could say.
That's funny. That's funny.
Hey. All right.
At just 19,
We were mocking her. She's 19.
she was publicly ridiculed by the world.
That's crazy at 19.
And this is all especially ridiculous considering today's standards are much lower. It almost feels like lip syncing isn't even a real thing anymore.
No, it's like expected.
Half of my favorite artists at their live shows just let the song play, jump around, and yell random ad-libs. Even though and she did have an opportunity to redeem herself on various late night shows, nobody cared. Nobody wanted to give her a second chance. It was too much fun to make jokes and boo her off stage.
Everyone's booing.
She did have a moderate comeback with her single Boyfriend in 2005, and her second album eventually selling 3 million copies worldwide, but she had already seen the peak of her music career, and as it slowly dwindled away, she maintained her relevance in the 2010s through relationships, various television projects, and her own social media. But the last person on our list has the most unexpected, shocking, and horrifying incidents that landed them in prison. In 2015, the world was dancing to Silento's hit song, Watch Me. The song paired with the massive viral dance, the whip and the nae-nae. All of social media was flooded with videos of people doing the dance.
I never learned how to whip or nae-nae.
With Vine and Instagram peaking in popularity, Silento laid the foundation for what would become extremely normal on TikTok many years later. He performed at award shows, on Nickelodeon, every talk show in America. The virality got the single to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, as well as 1.8 billion views on YouTube. Today, the record is 6 times platinum. Unfortunately, hip-hop dance tracks have a history of being impossible to outdo, because for every one that becomes culturally iconic, there are hundreds of cheesy failed attempts to recreate the moment. Silento waited 3 years to drop his album fresh out of high school, which failed to generate any buzz, and his second album went almost totally unnoticed.
That's a crazy album cover.
But before you could fully count him out, he made a decision that officially ended his career. On January 21st, 2021, the 23-year-old rapper was arrested for the murder of his cousin, 34-year-old Frederick Rooks, after a shooting in DeKalb County, Georgia. Police said officers found Rooks suffering from multiple gunshot wounds at a home off of Deep Shoals Circle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators did not have a suspect at the time. Responding officers were able to obtain video from the security cameras of multiple residents and later identified Hawk, or Silento, as the gunman. Silento was arrested February 1st, 2021, and then later indicted by a Georgia grand jury on 4 felonies. 1 count of malice murder.
Wait, doesn't Georgia have the death penalty?
1 count of felony murder, aggravated assault, and gun possession during the commission of a felony. As of now, the court has deemed Silento unfit for the safety of the public and will remain incarcerated until further trial. Since the trial has not started yet, we don't know how he did it, we don't know why he did it, and we don't know how long he might be in jail, but we do know is that his career is officially over.
Jesus. So he sexually assaulted someone. She was sexually assaulted. She lip synced. He murdered somebody, and he was cringe. DaBaby. Oh yeah, wait. What did DaBaby do? I already forgot. DaBaby's homophobic. Yeah, he deserves. I don't think we need a career. I think we gotta. And he killed someone in Walmart. We forgot about that. He also murdered someone in Walmart. Homophobic in 2023. Homophobia is not in right now. Last update I got, homophobia not in.